Now, BBC Yorkshire has learned that Ikea in Sheffield was supposed to build a half-mile bike lane outside the store. But because the planning approval conditions were so poorly written by the council, they were unenforceable.
Campaigners are calling for the Swedish company to install one regardless. But Ikea says it's not going to. Here's Mark Hansel.
We're often being encouraged to use a bike to get from A to B. The legacy of the Tour de France, starting in Yorkshire, was supposed to be more of us doing so. And it's a lot easier to convince people when there are cycle lanes. 2 years ago, there was great fanfare when Ikea opened, but it's emerged that the Swedish company was supposed to build a half-mile cycle lane between Sheffield and Rotherham near Meadowhall, directly in front of the store, linking up existing cycle routes either side. But because the council's planning approval conditions were so poorly written, they were unenforceable.
Well, it's deeply frustrating because there's a very nice route from the city centre that's been developed with Sustrans, which is Route 6, comes along the river. It's all quite nicely paved on almost the whole route. And then you come across a bridge, you come up to the main road just behind me, about 500 metres away from here, and then you don't know what to do. And it leaves you dumped on the middle of a 40-mile-an-hour dual carriageway with no clear cycle route.
Cycling campaigners are furious with the council's mistake, but are calling on the Swedish furniture company to build the cycle route regardless.
Ikea has a lot of claims about their sustainable and green credentials, and they've clearly failed to deliver here. And it shouldn't be the case that they have to be legally forced to fund something like that. They should be choosing to do so.
The world's largest furniture retailer has told me it's not going to install the cycle lane because it was not a condition of planning. Meanwhile, the council says it's disappointed with that decision, but accepts that lessons need to be learned to make sure this doesn't happen again. But that's little comfort for the cyclists who have to use this dual carriageway to get to and from the city. Mark Hansel, BBC Look North, Sheffield.